Wong, and I play Mouse, aka, or I would have to say Jill Chen, aka the Mouse, on the CARRIE Diaries. Mouse is Carrie Bradshaw's loyal and super supportive best friend in high school, and she's also got a pragmatism to her. She thinks she has her life figured out, but learns along the way that life isn't as formulaic as she sort of, plans for it to be. And we see her go through sort of the ups and downs along with her friends as they sort of navigate that sort of the formative years of their lives and try to figure out who they are and find that sense of self. Well, I watched the entire series after we shot the pilot, so I definitely saw a lot of similarities with the two shows in terms of just the characters being able to, just the friendship element of the show, being able to sit down with your friends and have that support and love from one another to help you sort of form your opinions and choices, how you're going to make your decisions. I think there's definitely a bit of Miranda in her, in the sense of just being a bit of a control freak in her life and having that pressure to really figure out everything in her life. And then there's also a bit of Charlotte in her, I would say, and her need for that committed love and the sort of innocence and sweetness in her, I would say, too, yeah. There's definitely a crossover in that, and I always call it, she's crossing to the other side, because it's kind of like what it is. They live in Connecticut, and then it's this sort of suburban town, and Manhattan's a whole other beast on its own. I mean, it's a place where they're going to learn more about themselves, discover their sense of self, and really figure out who they are, and we also see Carrie develop her love for Manhattan, and her friends kind of go with her along that journey of that self-discovery. So, a lot of fun. I mean, it's really fun being on set and being in the 80s. It's like, we'll have these little running jokes, like someone will whip out their cell phone. We'll be like, what is that gadget? What is that? And then like Mouse will chirp in and be like, oh yeah, that's my latest invention. And I'm just like testing out these little gadgets on set. So like we joke around a lot, but it's a lot of fun. It's being in the 80s was a time where I think it was a time to take risks. It was a bold era, and people weren't afraid to wear themselves. I mean, literally too, like through clothes, makeup, crazy hair. There are a lot of really great bands that were coming out, and it was just a time that was, I think, very experimental, and I think New York was at the heart of that too. So we're kind of taking all of that and putting it into a show with heartbreak and growing up and all of that. It's going to be fun, I hope. That was one of the real reasons why I was drawn to the show from the beginning, from reading the script, and I hope it continues to, and I don't see why it wouldn't. But unlike the other shows that I've seen on TV, it's definitely refreshing to have a show like the CARRIE Diaries now, because it is grounded and it's not glamorized or sensationalized. It's a very reflective show. And by saying that, I mean there's room for these characters to sit and talk about what they're going through, to write about it. There's the narration aspect of it, to ponder and to really think and be contemplative before making a choice and regretting it. So that's what I really like about the show.